My name is Lawal an excellent of Government Senior Model College, Ikorodu 2021 set, and I'm currently studying law at the University of Davis. Mr. Lawal Peter's teaching has been so impactful in the ramification of life. Before he came, I used to have student government, but the moment he came and started teaching, things turned around for me and many others. I moved from administration in government to having aids of government. It comes to class with relevance and captivating teaching aid. It simplifies complex concepts in government to logical understanding by all students. This made me and many of my colleagues graduate having A1 in government. It's the best inspirational teacher ever.
Mr. Peter Lawal, fondly called Mr. P by my very self, is a very hard-working teacher, articulate. I love the way he uses instructional materials to impart knowledge to the students. He's always ready to take up responsibility. Anytime I am asked to put up a committee in the school, he's always number one on my list, because I know whatever you involve him in, he puts in his very best. He's not a time waster, and he's very hardworking. He deserves the very best.
My name is Abdul Aziz Abdulrahman. I am an old student of Government Senior Model College, Ikorodu 2026. I am Banks Foundation and Jolaimi Foundation scholar. I am currently studying law at Lagos State University. Mr. Lawal Peter was my government teacher who inspired and motivated me to study law towards defending human rights. He even uses practical as a class experience to solve society problems. He uses what he calls student teaching, in which hereby students teach themselves in the class while he sits at the back. He watches, listens, and corrects us when we make mistakes. He has really inspired me. He played a big role in my life by advising me to go for internship before getting admission to study law, which has really helped me in my career. I am very grateful to him. He is, can I say, is the very best government teacher or the best teacher I've ever seen since when I have started learning while in school. I can recommend him for any position or any award is going to, because he has really inspired me and played a very good role in my life. I will be forever grateful and thankful to him.
Mr. Peter Lawal, though fairly new in the teaching service, is very hardworking, efficient, and very meticulous. He's always ready to assist whenever he's called upon to. And particularly for those of us who are not so tech savvy, he's always willing to help us out, particularly when we need to teach our students using the technological approach in the computer room. Mr. Peter Lawal is also very kind and compassionate, and this has actually endeared him to many of the students.
My name is Okafo Choyom, a student of Government Senior Model College, Ikorodu. I've known Mr. Lawal Obafemi Peter to be my class teacher since last year, and he's a man of good empathy to the students of his class, not only to those who are in his class, but to those within the school community. Mr. Lawal Obafemi Peter, also a disciplinarian, but also has the mind and shares thoughtful experiences with his students. Almost 99% of us love his subject, civic education, due to the explanation and well-built illustrations that he gives us during his teachings. I will always continue to like Mr. Lawal Peter, because he is also the one who connected me to a network, or should I say a group of organizations that are currently paying my school fees. I'm on scholarship presently, all thanks to Mr. Lawal Peter. And he has also been a good man to different people, teachers. He's a fun man to be with. Mr. Lawal Peter is a great teacher. Thank you.
Mr. Lawal Peter. Mr. Lawal Peter is a very committed teacher who is always willing to accept additional responsibility. He is loyal, committed, and highly responsible. And another good thing about Mr. Lawal is this: he also acts as para-counselor. He also helps in counseling the students. He helps them. He monitors their work. And if there is anyone that is found wanting among the students, he always bring them to me. He has also helped one of the students able to gain scholarship to a higher institution. So I want to really commend his efforts, and I pray that the Lord will take him to his higher level. Thank you, Mr. Lawal. Keep it up.
Good morning, everyone. My name is David Ibekwe. I'm a student of Government Senior Model College, Ikorodu, Lagos. I'm here to tell you a lot about my teacher, Mr. Lawal Peter. He's a nice and impactful teacher. He teaches in a friendly environment. He teaches so friendly. He would stay in his class and understand. Anyone who doesn't understand, that person must be lying, because he teaches it detailed. He's comprehensive, very cool and nice, brilliant. I really love to have him as a teacher, and I have him as a teacher, and it's very, very cool. Like, it's really nice being with him. He's just too nice. Like, and he teaches a lot of good things. He exposes us, because we are in a boarding school, so we don't really know what happens outside. So he exposes us. He tells us everything that happens. He brings our mind closer, so we don't just remain in the dark. He exposes us to the light, and I'm telling you that you're really going to enjoy him as a teacher. Thank you.
Obafemi Peter is an orator. He's a role model. I can say he's a role model, yes. And he's compassionate about what he's doing. He's compassionate about his child. He's compassionate about his teaching. He's compassionate about everything that has to do with him. I think he deserves the award.
My name is Bambola, a student of Government Senior Model College. I would like to say a few things about Mr. Peter. Mr. Obafemi Peter is a good teacher and a kind of unique teacher in the school. Most of his colleagues are looking to him and trying to act like him and be like him, because Mr. Peter is always ahead and is always on top of the points. He's always right on whatever he says. Most of the results on WAEC we've had in the schools here, we notice that most of the students who he teaches have always aced with a lot of subjects, and most schools also want a teacher like him to be transferred to their school. Mr. Peter is not based on all his imaginary illusions, and whatever he says is always based on the true facts if we try to get it right. Most teachers who try to be like him can never get it, because they never get the secret of how Mr. Peter is doing it. Mr. Peter is a nice teacher, and he's kind of realistic, and he prepares the students for the outside world, because the school is a cosmopolitan area that prepares we for the outside world, and Mr. Peter is trying his best to program us for the school. I wish him a lot of luck. Thank you.
Mr. Peter is my colleague in school. We have been staying together, studying together. He's one of the competent teachers in Government Senior Model College. He's hardworking, and when it comes to job delivery, he always comes through at work. So I can fight for him in all ramifications. So I cannot even hesitate to even fight for him. He's one of the best teachers in Government Model College. Thank you.
Good day. My name is Ifemina Amut, a student of Government Senior Model College, Ikorodu, Lagos. Mr. Lawal Peter is my class teacher. He's diligent, committed, caring, and also is a man of his words. He's a man of competition. He drives his students to become competitive. He inspires his students a lot. He is a role model. Mr. Lawal Peter is a self-sacrificing leader. He is humble. He teaches his students to the best of his ability and knowledge. He ensures that every student in his class is carried along during his teaching, and not also to his students, but to others. He is down to earth. He is loving. He sacrifices his time and comfort for others and his students. He gives his attention to his students and other people. Mr. Lawal Peter is an epitome of good works. Kudos to Mr. Lawal Peter. Thank you very much.
Mr. Lawal Peters
efficient teacher at Government Senior Model College. He is an efficient teacher, innovative, punctual, is an effective teacher and efficient teacher that is ready to take up additional responsibility. When he's going to any class, he always go with his teaching aids. Anytime I meet him in the class, he is good with his teaching aids, with different methods of teaching. He's a responsible teacher. He's respectful and is efficient. Is creative. In fact, he has helped a lot of students to obtain scholarship.
Mr. Lawal Peter is a dynamic teacher, a modern type that is not restricted to just the syllabus, but goes beyond in order to make his students think out of the box. He prepares us for each of us for competitions, in case we are called upon. So Mr. Lawal Peter is a very dynamic teacher. He makes his students very competitive in order to make them prepared for the outside world, to make them prepared for any circumstances that may come their way.
More about him because though he's a young teacher, he's very vibrant with the methodology of teaching. He's very good and versatile with a lot of instructional aids and resources. He's very good at it. He takes his job as important. And as a matter of fact, in this class, because he's the class teacher of SS2A, in that class, when it comes to students having good behavior, he has gotten it with them. And the last month, it was recorded that Mr. Lawal Obafemi helped a particular student to get a scholarship via the Facebook, and even a student lost his dad, or a dad, a dad. Last month, he went there, and the all students have been good, proud to what Mr. Lawal Obafemi has been doing. He sees them as his own children, even when he has not gotten anyone. You know, he is a good teacher. I'm giving it to him to be the best teacher. He really merits one. Thank you so much. I'm Mrs. Elisha.
I'm Amza Fati, an old student of Government Senior Model College. Mr. Lawal Peter Obafemi is a very nice teacher. He's a very good teacher. He's an upright man and a confidential man. He's a very good man. As I say, you can go to meet him after class. He gives vivid explanation in class. He brings instructional materials to class, and he explains very well. And he's one of my best teachers because he's a teacher you can look up to. I feel like Mr. Lawal is worth this award, and he's a very good man, and I believe he could reach here. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Adebola Shibutiwa, the staff of Lagos State Teachers in the Senior Model College. I'm here to give a remark on my colleague, Mr. Lawal Peter. He has been dedicated, he has been effective, he has been helpful in every area in trying to give effective teaching within the school and even outside the school. In the areas of student relationship to the teacher, he has been wonderfully excellent. He tries to make sure that every student tries to understand the basis of learning in the school. Aside from the classroom, his area of empathy and humility is one that one can never stop talking about, because he's humble and he's ready and willing to help. He's a team player, willing to work in a team to achieve success. I believe with this, I recommend Mr. Lawal Peter for the Lagos State Teachers Merit Award. Thank you.
My name is Akinpo Odani Oluwatishi.
I'm a student of Government Senior Model College, the school where Mr. Lawal Peters teaches. I want to give a testimony of Mr. Lawal Peters. Mr. Lawal Peters is the modern teacher. He's not restricted to just the scope of the syllabus, but beyond. He teaches students all that is relevant for future use. He gives us enough references, and he treats his topic historically, philosophically, and in the modern way. So he gives students that insight that comes as a result of education. Mr. Lawal Peters, as a government teacher, is not just restricted to the old scope for African governments. He also involves ICT in his teaching, so giving students computer literacy as well as eradicating political apathy. Mr. Lawal Peters has a lot of influences in his students. Every student who has passed through Mr. Lawal Peters' tutelage must be able to be competitive. Mr. Lawal Peters teaches students to fly high. Every time Mr. Lawal Peters can compare with students, every Dick and Harry from every private school in Nigeria and abroad, in terms of political knowledge and education. Mr. Lawal Peters lets his students know that the school is a miniature of the society. The school prepares students for the outside world in the sense that it gives them the knowledge that they will use in the future. Mr. Lawal Peters is a very modern teacher, very brilliant and radiant type. His classes are never boring, and this has brought him the love of his colleagues and his students. I wish him the best of luck.
Well, Mr. Lawal Obafemi Peter is one man everyone would like to work with. Diligent, hardly complain, ever ready to take up any task at any time. So I think him winning this award will be a feather added. Nothing cut short. It's never a mistake nominating him for such a award. I believe and I strongly wish he's actually the winner of this award. God bless Education District 2. God bless Lagos State Government. Keep it up, Mr. Lawal Peter. Sky is just the beginning point for you.
This light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This light